Hey y'all, I am Dani and welcome back to Summer Skye Gardens. If you've watched any of my videos before, thank you and welcome back. If you are new here, I am a flower farmer in Texas. Our flower farm is in Splendora, Texas. It's Zone 9B. It's right northeast of Houston. And I am out at the farm today and I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to show you around, give you an updated fall tour, show you guys what I've been working on, show you through the pick field here, what I'm harvesting, how things are growing, and just kind of show you our plans for the next couple of months where we hope to open up to the public. As always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, comment if you have any questions, and let's go take a look around. So right behind me is the pick field, and you can see that a bunch of the sunflowers are starting to bloom. It's a little bit early. I was really going for them to be blooming more toward October, but that's okay. This can happen with sunflowers when it's really hot. You're still getting a lot of daylight. These are supposed to bloom, on average around 60 days, but they're hitting about the 45-day mark, and this has happened to be before. Not the end of the world. I do have some friends, some other growers, some florists that want flowers this week and next week. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut these for sale. And then I still have plenty of rows that are growing for our pick to open up next month, ideally, and continue on through Thanksgiving. So let me go harvest these. These are Pro Cut Horizon right behind me. And then I'll show you what all I've harvested this morning for an order today and take you more through a tour of the pick area and the rest of the farm. So my hands get too full and I have to go drop them off, but these are the Horizon. I like these because they're more of an upright facing flower for sunflowers, and they're supposed to do better in a cooler than some other varieties. I haven't tested that out yet, but super pretty, perfect for fall. And you can see when I cut, I'm stripping just in the field. I don't clean it up. It's just going to dry up and blow away, and it gets mowed into the grass, no big deal. And to kind of make it go faster, as I'm stripping, I'm kind of looking to see where is the next flower that I'm cutting. So it's just a way to move a little bit faster and make your harvesting more efficient. And if I were better, I would have brought my bucket out here so I could just drop them in the bucket, but whatever, it's just right over there in my little bin. And I'm going to bring these, since I'm delivering these today, I'm just going to bring them inside the house for a few hours before I go deliver. So we're right here by the house, which is very convenient. Whew, these start to get heavy to hold on to, so I'm going to go drop them in the bucket. All right, I think that's it for now. Let me go put these inside the house. So I'll show you guys what I harvested for my friend today, Avery, with Avery's Flower Farm. She is in Porter, Texas, which is about 15 minutes south of me. She does a lot of event work, so if you need flowers for an event and you're local to me, go check her out. I don't really do much event work, but you can see ton of these Horizon sunflowers look gorgeous. Some more over here. I do have a few gold lights. I have a few white light, white nights. There's the white night. I had a handful of zinnias just from some volunteer plants. I wish I had more growing right now, but have to wait on that. This is some wild goldenrod, which is a fun little filler, and it grows wild all over here. Couple of stems of sedum. My sedum is about done blooming. I have a bunch of this mahogany splendor hibiscus, which is a really pretty foliage for the fall. And then a bunch of celosia. I'm probably going to go cut some more. This variety is Sangria from Floret. This was the first year they were selling it, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love this color. And I'll show you guys where it is outgrowing here shortly. All right, so here we are at the U-Pick area, and I decided this year in this area to just do all sunflowers. Right now I have 14 beds. They are 4 feet wide. I have 3-foot pathways in between. And you can see as I've done successions, you know, which were the earlier ones I did, which are the later ones out this way. I still have room where I can add more or come in and add some for, you know, next year. But they've all been growing really well. The weeds are pretty crappy inside the beds, but I feel like you can't really see them much once the sunflowers get going. And I don't think people will mind. So when I do open the U-Pick, I mean, I'll come in here and like weed eat along the pathways, blow off the pathways, so that looks pretty, but I can't worry about trying to pick out the weeds within the beds because there's just so many. But yeah, it's looking really good so far. I do have some areas where some of them I think got eaten. So I'll probably come back in and fill those in. And those will bloom at this point probably in November, which is fine. This bed for whatever reason didn't grow very well. So I'll replant that. But overall, very happy with how this is looking. And I will say that every bed is a different variety. I kind of started with some lighter colors like the whites, golds, the horizons, and then going into some darker colors as it continues on and the year, you know, goes on into November. All these sunflowers are more of the darker ombre fun colors. All right, while we're over this direction, let's come look over here. I finally had I've had issues with my mower, and my neighbor was able to come over and mow for me the whole property yesterday, so it looks way better. This is the area that I will be planting wildflowers for the spring. So probably in November, I'll come in and till this up. I'm not going to prep the soil at all because wildflowers like, you know, poor soil. So I'm literally going to till it up a couple times, throw out the seeds, ideally before it rains, and just let them grow over here. And then people can come visit in the spring to cut flowers. They can walk among the wildflowers. We can do like photography sessions. So I think that'll be pretty cool. Here is the mum area. I have lost a few over the summer just due to it being hot and not getting water here and there, but most of them look great. A couple of these areas I need to replace the netting because it got torn up, but they're growing really nicely. I'm going to start fertilizing them probably next week because I'm looking at them growing, blooming probably in November. Let's go over this way. Some of them are going to bloom faster than others. There's like early, mid, late varieties. You can see there's a few here that are starting to get really tall. Oh, and these already have buds. Wow. What is this one? This is Joyce Fountain. Okay, so these might be coming a little bit sooner, so that's pretty cool. I've also been growing 2 varieties for Harmony Harvest Farm as part of a trial. They are pretty new and rare. The first one is Grape Glow, which you can see here, and it's doing fine. It's not putting on a ton of growth. So that's these 3 seedlings. And then the next one is First Light. This one I thought had died. It's growing back. I have this one and then this one. So they're hanging in there. I'm wondering if these are going to be more of a later variety, and that's why they're not putting on a ton of growth yet. But what we do is just every week I take pictures, I make notes. They picked, I think, like 10 to 12 growers around the country to trial these out to get more information about them because there's not a lot out there. So we can see, you know, are they worth growing? Are they worth growing for cut flowers? And if so, like, what are some of the characteristics? All right, so here in the backyard, I had planted some pumpkins in the summer and a few made it. So they're starting to flower now. So I'm interested to see if they're actually going to produce pumpkins because it's starting to get a little late in the season. But we'll see how that goes. Have a lot of wildflowers everywhere. Here is the goldenrod. Show you guys how it looks. This is a great fall wildflower foliage. And it just grows all over the place. The bees love it. If you cut it here, where it's like slightly greenish yellow, it hasn't bloomed yet, this is actually a really good point to cut it because you can use it for like a textural foliage element in a bouquet. And since it hasn't bloomed yet, it will last longer and not get pollen all over the place. So I cut a few of this to use today. All right, so here we are at the front of the property. That's the front gate. This is where I had the old U-pick area, and I need to clean it up eventually. It's just, I haven't had time to do it. Here's the front of the house. Still have to come in and finish painting, which we should do in the next week or two. Just been trying to make the space look a lot more inviting. I added in some landscape plants like a Esperanza, some lantana, salvia. I have some drift roses. Everything's starting to look a little bit better since the temperatures aren't quite so hot. Here's the front door. This lantana has gone absolutely nuts, but it's pretty. It's got little pink yellow flowers. And this is a Duranta that I got that I'm going to plant here, and it puts out little purple flowers, which is real pretty. So let's come over here to the what I call the production area. So this bed right here is where I have stuff growing for our U-pick for the fall. So you can see I planted a ton of zinnias, some marigolds, and then right here is going to be some gomphrena. I already had celosia going. I'll show you up close of that. That is the mahogany splendor hibiscus. In the back is some basil. And then over here is some celosia that I actually cut back and it's regrowing. So that's pretty cool to see. So all of this celosia is from Floret. So these are the new varieties that they released this year. I am very impressed with their celosia. They're huge. They're super prolific. The colors are super pretty. So I'm very happy with these. I would definitely love to grow these again. I'll tell you the different varieties. Right here behind me is sangria. That's the one that I showed you was in the bucket. And I forget the other couple of ones, but I have them tagged, so I'll show you up close of that. But highly recommend their celosia. Celosia is a great plant to grow for like a foliage filler textural element. It loves the heat. It is prone to caterpillar like whitefly damage. I typically don't spray for it unless it gets really bad because I find that they mainly defoliate the plant and attack the leaves. But when I go to harvest the flowers, they're fine. So I just strip all the leaves off and then usually it's still fine to use. But if I see them start to get up in the flower part, then I will spray. So let me turn this around and I'll give you an up close look. All right, so like I said, this is sangria. Huge, gorgeous, like hot pink magenta color. Some of the stems are a little darker. Some are a little more pinky, but I love it. Of course, celosia dries beautifully, so whatever I don't end up using as cut flowers, I will dry to use for other projects. This one, let me double check the tag. Oh yeah, glowing embers. So this one also very pretty, much shorter plants overall. More of an orangey color. So some of them have this like kind of more hot orange spiky look. And some of them are more of this long feathery like salmon color. But definitely very pretty. Very prolific, just a lot shorter than the other ones. And then, oh yeah, this is the raspberry lemonade. So most of these are pink, more of like a brighter, I don't know, Barbie pink than the sangria. I do have a few in here that are orange or yellow, and that's just some random plants, but overall, very pretty, very useful. These pair great with zinnias, with sunflowers, marigolds, anything that also loves the heat. So here's a lot of the zinnias. I didn't plant them in every hole because I know they're going to bush out and fill up the space. This is the hibiscus, which I love for fall foliage. And I think if you'll see here, this is only like 4 plants. So they get incredibly huge and bushy. You don't need a lot. And they put out a ton of stems. So it's a lot of bang for your buck. Here is all the basil. I cut all this back pretty harshly and it's starting to regrow. So hopefully we'll have that able to be picked. And then this is the back production field, which I am slowly cleaning up to start to plant cool flowers, probably by the end of October, beginning of November. So I have to rip up, I've been cleaning out the weeds because I didn't keep up with it, pulling up the landscape fabric, the drip irrigation. I'm going to come in, kind of lightly till, add my amendments, and then lay all this stuff down. This will kind of be my first succession of cool flowers, and then the second succession of cool flowers will come in here as these plants are kind of dying out at the end of the fall. And last little area back there, we have our bees. We were very successful with our honey. We sold out super quick. We are going to add in, I think, about 8 to 10 more hives. That's my burn pile. And then this is the perennial area, which looks like a hot mess. I am also cleaning this up so I can plant all my bulbs over here, probably in November. So I've got some work to do. I do have my sedum still growing here. I have some salvia and yarrow over there. And then in the back over here is my mountain mint. And then up in these beds underneath are all my daffodil bulbs. So I'm going to have to see how I can clean these up with hopefully not disturbing the bulbs. I don't know how that's going to go, but we will find out. All right, guys, that is it. That's kind of the full tour, everything that's going on here at the farm. So, you know, really like my main focus this next month and a half is getting our U-pick open. Probably next week, I'm going to start selling to my florists again, since I now have sunflowers. I have several things I can offer them. I do have a workshop planned with some garden ladies, so I'm going to try that out and hopefully open up some more of those next year. But probably by Thanksgiving, we'll be kind of shutting down, you know, being open to the public, selling flowers, and focus on getting all of the cool stuff planted and growing, enjoying the holidays, and then hopefully I'll have tulips popping up by the end of January, beginning of February, in time for Valentine's Day, and then we're off to the races. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video.